already had like a cloud of controversy just last week on No Neutral with our tier list. This time we're not doing a tier list, but we are going to be ranking something, and that is none other than the best V triggers in the game. Not really best, like not really ranking them, but we just will decide what character do we believe has the best V trigger and has the most slept on V trigger. So two different ones. And I'll let you shoot from the hip first, because I don't know who you're gonna go with, to be honest.
All right, I'll mention a few that they're honorable mentions before I go with the number one.
Okay.
Honorable mention number one, because it's been a thorn in my side for a whole 2 months now, and that's Akira with Daigo V trigger. I cannot stand that V trigger. Okay. I cannot stand that V trigger. Now it's a little early. You still got more details to work out in the matchup, but it's more of a combination of a character that has really strong footsies and fundamentals on top of a V trigger that forces a mix-up. Yeah, it's one of those. So it's a personal thing for me right now. With due time, I'm sure it'll be labbed out more and understood better. So that's one honorable mention. I'm not firmly deciding that it's number one for me, but I do have a pick where I don't know if you'll agree with this one, and I think
you gotta say something crazy, bro.
It's not crazy. It's people talk about it a lot, and I want to kind of add context to me. I think a great V trigger is complemented by a great character, so that's where I'm gonna go with my number one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with Colleen V trigger 2. This character has extremely strong confirmed, extremely strong neutral control the entire match, and suddenly has a 2-bar V trigger where it's like, boom, just sudden spike in difficulty, a new minigame begins, and a lot of characters you cannot afford to play the game anymore. The risk reward on the neutral is so shifted into Colleen's favor, where she's just kind of like pressing Fierce Punch over and over. If you get clipped by that half-screen Fierce Punch with that icicle extended hitbox on it, you're going to lose the game. So that, to me, one of the strongest V-triggers in the game. Not only the explosive power, but the fact that she can continuously put you in the guessing situations over and over. And she'll activate it at 20 seconds into the round and at 40 seconds into the round in the same game. It's a 2-bar V-trigger. Her getting 2 V-triggers around is extremely common. So to me, that right now, there's a lot of other extremely strong ones, but I feel like coupled with the fact that Colleen is also very strong without it, that to me makes it the best V-trigger in the game at the moment.
Oh, that was your best? I thought you were just saying honorable mention.
No, that's my best. That's my best.
That's surprising to me. I'm not gonna lie. That's surprising. The honorable mention that I'll give is going to be Cammy, because of the same thing you just said, how good the character is outside of the V-trigger. The strategy changes after she pops her V-trigger. Already her aerial game is so tough, and you have to make a guess or make a read every time she takes to the air. And now she has yet another option and this plus. That's important. And then yet again, closing games out. All of a sudden, it's that much easier for her to walk at you and just take that space where before you may have been controlling it with buttons because you're scared of the dive kick. So definitely an honorable mention. But the best V-trigger in the game, I don't think that it's changed, Brian. I think that Aegis has the most utility out of every V-trigger in the game. I don't think that Aegis, for example, requires you to be good at all. But I think you can be straight trash use Aegis effectively. Like I fully feel like when you look at Aegis, it's not like, oh, this person's reads are just out of this world. It's not just how the simplicity of it, but it's also actually on the flip side, it's the complexity. It's because of how deep you can go with Aegis. It has so many different applications. Defensively, you can anti-air with it at certain ranges. There's always new things being created. And I remember early in Street Fighter V, people talked a whole lot about the fact that they felt like it was too streamlined, too linear. Like, this is how you play this character. This is how you play that character. I think that's been disproven a whole lot over the years, personally. But with Urian's Aegis, you could never really say that in the first place because there's just so many different things that you can do with it. And then, of course, I gotta go back to this very important thing when it comes to gameplay is just closing out rounds. Win conditions to close out rounds. If he has that Aegis reflector, you have to guess for game. It is what it is. And God forbid you have 30% health and you do have a life lead, but he has CA in Aegis, which is very common. It's not like I'm bringing up some unicorn scenario. Well, all of a sudden, if you take the throw, you get thrown off to Aegis. and boom, right into CA, you die. And then if you get hit, you die. So it's just a very tough situation. I don't think V-Shift helps a ton against it. Urien doesn't really need the Aegis per se. Like, he's already an extremely solid character. Definitely. Prior to that. Great anti-airs, strong defense, even though it's gotten nerfed now. His neutral is very strong, which we're seeing for probably the first time in history because of Taquito. And so, clearly we can see that Urien has the full package. So that's why I think the Aegis has to be the best V-Trigger in the game.
You're not wrong. It's obviously always in the conversation. All right, quick fire off round, real quick. Underrated V-Trigger, real quick.
Underrated. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Seth V-Trigger 2. V-Trigger 2 I thought was one of the worst before they buffed it to get the guaranteed explosion. Now in this season, I think it's mad underrated. Guaranteed 50-50, half your life gone. Very strong.
I agree. Okay, that's fire. Okay, most underrated for me is going to be Chun-Li Quickfire. It's going to be Chun-Li V-Trigger 2. Extremely strong V-Trigger because her neutral is so busted and she's already so hard for everyone to beat before she pops V-Trigger. And then all of a sudden she pops it. She already has no risk. But the flip side was that, she doesn't get anything off of it. Well, now I can just cancel into my V-Trigger off a very easy hit confirm or in my combos in the Kokosho. Extremely strong V-Trigger makes her a so much better character.
I agree. It seems like a common theme there is if you're a strong character, then the strong V-Trigger complements you more. That seems to be the common theme.
Yes.
So I think it just goes to show that it's not all about just the V-Trigger in a vacuum. But that's a theory fighting like that, just kind of discussing the ideas there. I think it's a really good habit to have because it kind of just gives you new perspectives on how to counter things or to utilize it to your own advantage. If you got a strong V-Trigger, please keep using it. Please keep cooking people with it. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.